Our monthly Board of Directors meeting for Silicon Valley Clean Energy. We will call this meeting to order at 7 p.m. We'll start with roll call, please.
Yes, Chair Abakoga.
Here.
Vice Chair Miller.
Here.
Director Montano. Director Elahi. Director Syok.
Here.
Director Smith.
Here.
Director Sinks. Director Corrigan.
Here.
Director Gibbons.
Here.
Alternate Director Flagger.
Here.
Thank you, and I'll note Director Tovar, Martinez Beltran, and Ellenberger absent.
Great, thank you. We'll move to public comment on matters not listed on the agenda. Any members of the public wishing to speak on a non-agendized item? Are there any cards? No? All right. We'll move on to our consent calendar. Are there any items to be pulled or commented by board members? No? Any members of the public wishing to pull an item? If not, is there a motion to approve?
Move consent item 1A through 1K, 1F. L.
1L.
That's an L? Okay, 1L.
Is there a second to the motion? All right, so motion by Member Gibbons, second by Member Smith. Any other discussion? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. We go to the regular calendar, and we'll start with the CEO's report. Mr. Balachandran.
Thank you, Chair Abakoga. So on the legislative and regulatory side, we covered most of the regulatory issues at our workshop, the IRP issues and the allocation issues. On the legislative side, the ad hoc Ledge Committee will be meeting on October 21. We'll be looking at your legislative platform. Oh, 22. I wasn't sure what this was, but thank you. So October 22, and then we'll be bringing you the legislative platform shortly thereafter. The last part of my CEO update is to introduce our newest employee, Michaela Pippin, as she's coming up to speak to you. She joined SVC as our new communications specialist. She studied public relations and public administration at CSU Fullerton, and we are very excited to have her be the newest member of our team.
Thank you. Hello, I'm Michaela Pippin. As Girish said, I am the new communications specialist. I am very excited. I recently graduated from Cal State Fullerton with a double major in public relations and public administration with the intention of working in sustainability. Being in Fullerton, it was all about lifestyle and Hollywood, so it was really refreshing to come back to the Bay Area and find that there are these amazing jobs available. So, thank you.
Okay. The last thing I'd say, we'll be bringing you, we're doing our contract negotiations, and from the next month onwards, Monica will be providing you an update. That's the end of our report, my report.
Great, thank you. Are there any questions? Any members of the public wishing to speak on this, on the CEO's report? No? If not, thank you. We'll move on to the third item, our workshop. Any follow-up from the workshop? Did you have some opening comments?
The workshop, thank you very much for your feedback. I think we've got some very clear direction. As was suggested at the workshop, maybe a motion to memorialize that direction would be helpful for staff.
Great. And Vice Chair, do you happen to have a motion?
I have one in mind. Let's see if we can figure. It probably sounded better before, but hopefully it sounds the same. So I would like to move that we accept the staff recommendation on RPS. I would move further that we accept the staff recommendation on geothermal. We are good to move forward with the binary project. We would like to see that potentially in December. And then on geothermal in general, we'd like it to be part of the plan that you model, including offsets, so that we end up with a carbon-free geo situation. And then on the issue of which shopping carts we'd like you to model, we like all the carts that you have, but we would also like to include the free hydro in cart 1 and in cart 2, so maybe it's a cart 1 plus and a cart 2 plus. And then on the nuclear, we'd like that modeled as well with the option of selling the nuclear, so it would be out of our portfolio. And then as appropriate, we'd like you to put in, I called it BioX, but biogas and biomass as appropriate to model.
Great, thank you. So we have a motion from the Vice Chair and a second from Director Smith. Yes, let me open it up to the public. Any comments from the public on this item, a motion? No? If not, I'll bring it back. Any comments?
Just to clarify, the motion would be to study nuclear as either putting it on RPCL or selling it.
Right.
Thank you. Both of those.
Both of those.
Got it.
And I believe, just to memorialize the conversation here publicly, that we also wanted to see the net effects of removing the,
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. Go ahead, finish.
let me see if I can, removing the nuclear from the PG&E content label, what effect it'll have on our label and on the PG&E label.
Yeah, I think the label question was applicable to all the shopping carts.
Yes.
What's the approximation of what we think our power label is going to look like on each shopping cart, in addition to the prices?
Great. Any other questions, comments on the motion? If not, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. We'll move on to board member announcements and direction on future agenda items. Do we have any announcements or agenda requests? Yes, Mr. Lockheed.
Thanks. I wanted to commend John Supp and the Silicon Valley Clean Energy. They put in a really impressive presentation at the Rotary Club last Wednesday, and as a result, there seems to be interest from some people in Los Gatos even to take a look at it. So we'll see how
Great.
that goes.
If I
Thank
can
you.
Yes.
tag on to his comments, I'd also like to commend John Supp for his presentation to the city of Los Altos Hills, which had our meeting on REACH codes
There's John.
since we met last. And I'm excited to say we are moving forward.
Great.
So there.
Well, Director Montano.
So on that note, I wasn't aware that you guys do presentations at different clubs. So I belong to the Kiwanis Club. Would you be willing to do a presentation there?
Sure.
Okay, great, thank you.
Over here, yes. Director Gibbons and then.
And I was just going to thank staff for an excellent panel on the REACH codes last week. It was really phenomenal guest speakers, excellent discussions, very informative, and I just really appreciate the effort and energy that it took to put something that comprehensive together. And I also thought it spoke really well of our staff to have the kind of connections, to get the kind of people that came there, was really impressive. So thank you for a very well-done job.
Yes, thank you. Yes, Vice Chair.
Oh, just part of the theme that there's a lot of new people here. I want to thank staff for, and this will sound weird, but I want you to think about what I'm saying, right?
Okay.
For all the presentations, they have shown up in
Yes.
my school and presented to the 5th graders on Earth Day. They show up at all of our city events and host tables to inform people. Staff has shown up for working with our staff on the REACH codes, and I want to thank them in advance because we're going to have our discussion in just a couple days. For those who've adopted it, I'm wondering how many have adopted something with respect to no natural gas in new construction?
Kind
And we'll be considering it in November.
So it's being considered by,
of October.
excellent,
Yeah,
thank you.
same here.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. So one of the things somebody in our Sustainability Commission talked about is the idea that gas is such a part of cooking in many places where our residents are from. For me too, okay? And I don't know if it's appropriate for us to be scheduling some cooking demonstrations with induction cooking. I keep referring people to that talk that Panama Bartholomew did, and I say, go to this minute and take a look. He talks about cooking for 10 minutes and why, and really motivating the change. But I'm wondering if, it might not make sense to do some sessions to help people be more open to the idea that you don't need to cook with gas.
We need to
in new
we need a
construction.
demo kitchen. We need to
Well,
have
exactly,
something
right?
set
And
up.
so I don't
Isn't that
know.
the future fit home that we're talking about?
So we are going to be having a cooking demo this Saturday.
This is not a setup. I just want you to.
Pretty impressive. Could you do it a little faster?
Thank you for organizing that in the last 15
quite
seconds.
We have phenomenal staff. It's the Bay Area Home Electrification Expo
Oh, yes, right.
at the San Jose, I believe it's at the Tech Interactive. So it's a tech museum
Cool.
in San Jose.
Cool.
And we are co-sponsoring that. And I believe there's one tomorrow also.
Oh, see, faster.
I don't know. I don't know if it's possible if you know, even an amateur taking a video of some
YouTube
really
it.
eloquent speaker talking about it. I mean, Panama really did it, but any of this stuff we put out, you know, that we can share on social media, I think helps the conversation. So the other thing I wanted to mention is I was at a class taught by Professor Severin Borenstein of the Haas School of Business and Economics and James Bushnell from Davis. It was all day Thursday, all day Friday. And the title of the class was The Economics of Energy and the Environment. And I would commend this class to anybody who really wants a look at how we are viewed and how the energy markets are playing out in California. I found it extremely useful. And I also noted, we had a couple of SV staff members there as well. Javed was there, a staffer from, the chair and a staffer from Peninsula as well. But I learned a whole heck of a lot, and I think it's important for us to see how we are players and how we are viewed. And frankly, some of the opinions expressed by Professor Bushnell were somewhat challenging of CCAs. And so I think being in dialogue with these folks who are very influential at the state level is critical. The class was filled with young PUC staffers and many others, right, who hold positions of interest in the state of California. And so, you know, our ability to be in dialogue with these thought leaders, Severin, who's on the California Independent System Operator Board of Governors, I think it's critical. So there's another class that's happening January 8th and 9th. And if you found your service on this board to be super interesting and you'd like to scratch down a level more, I'd really recommend this class.
Maybe we could get staff to send it to all the board members, all the alternates, and all of our staff members.
The
I
things,
mean,
the things like 9 to 4, 9 to 5, something like that.
So this invite did go out to all the board members.
Yes.
Two accepted, so now we'll send this as soon as the official notice comes out to all the board members again. Following up with Director Sinks's comment about Professor Bushnell, we have initiated outreach to him, and we have a contact through Cal CCA who studied with him, and so we're going to set up a meeting.
Great. So thank you.
Great. Thank you. Anyone else? Well, I was waiting for the Reach Code competition. Mountain View will be deciding on October 22nd.
Nice.
And we're going further than SBC's recommendation, actually, and staff is recommending mandating all electric except for single-family homes. And that one, I would like to push it further, but the catch is ovens or stoves and then fireplaces. And I think fireplaces is something, well, we talk about it at the Air District where we encourage replacing wood burning with natural gas, but even that emits carbon, so maybe it's time to let go of fireplaces. But these are emotional issues, so we'll see what kind of response we get. But I think are we going to be the first one? I was told we're going to be the first one. That's right. And then I just want to thank staff for the workshop earlier this afternoon. I think we really came a long way from last month, at least in my mind. I was able to really, I think, get a better sense of what we were discussing. So I appreciate you breaking it down into biteable pieces. And I think we had a really good conversation and look forward to moving forward with our initiatives. So thank you very much to all of you for your hard work on that. And anyone else? If yes.
Request, should you be successful in getting this through, if we can just start to compile all
Yes.
of these so that we can bring them with us when we go to our meetings to show what has already been done.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
I'll definitely ask our staff to relay, but maybe
Yeah, I think
staff
we
here
can do
could
that.
coordinate all that.
The much talked about John Supp is on this
Yeah, where is he?
completely. And so maybe what we could do is
He's
we
doing
can
a
send it out
presentation,
to the board as these things are adopted with a link to the website.
Perfect, thank you.
Great. All right. Well, if there is no other business, then we stand adjourned. Thank you very much. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
15 minutes.
She wins.
Yeah.